just all top players left. And today we will be watching, or this game will be the other side of winner semifinals. The winner of this will go on to the winner of this will go on to winners finals, where they'll be waiting for placeholder Palafins. And the two teams we have here in this game are Spiraling Misfortune versus Core Retroflow.
It's going to be a tight one, I think. It could be very interesting. I'll be honest. I didn't think that the, Wallamal, Fox, and Forgot we're going to be able to beat Oshi in the first place. Actually, that was on my bingo card. And now we're getting into this match. Like, obviously, I'm a little favored towards Retroflow, but they've proven me wrong once. Why can't they prove me wrong again?
Hey, I completely get it there. I am also interested in this Retroflow team, just because it's containing quite some legacy members here, right? We have Streak, who known to be a top player throughout his entire journey playing OS, but hasn't really been participating in any competitive tournaments for quite some time. Leo Leon, who is my teammate as well, currently in North American Strikers League. But also just an older player, been playing since early production, and then Elo Heaven, who just hasn't been seen for ages.
Yeah, he popped up in a tournament. I could have sworn
so
a month or two ago.
Was in one of the draft diff tournaments, and got picked up by Vaughn to be his midfielder. And it's just, again, it is these players who have been one of the top, if not contender for one of the best players during their times playing or during their peaks, now playing together again, and have made it into the top 8. This is winner side as well. So they have, whoever loses here will go on to the loser side and have another attempt to kind of take their way up. But we were talking about it earlier before. The team, like, if you had won your match in losers top round 1, and moved on, like, you would have to be versing Bang Bang next, right? And that is a top North American Strikers League team. And then if you win that game, they're versing someone else is waiting on the other side.
I mean, it doesn't get any easier for them, I'll be honest. Oh, Gates of the Obscura going down. They're already getting through the banning phase here.
So yes, taking a look at this, we have Spiraling Misfortune banning out AtLab for the first map ban, followed by Retro going over to Gates of Obscura. I do not want to play on that map, and that's completely understandable. Gates is a pretty funny map when you haven't been playing more recently. It's just one of those unique maps where it is an interesting map and you can play around it well, but you need to put the time in to really understand how those teleportation gates work. First pick for Spiraling Misfortune is going to be Oni Village. And then it looks like Retro is going to take it over to the temple. Bouncy House being picked up for game number 2, Taiko Temple.
My goodness. Always a funny map to see. Lots of bouncing. Lots of unpredictable angles. People not dying when they should.
100%. And then the last map being picked up here is Night Market. So we're getting some pretty standard maps here with Oni and Night Market, with the one kind of like unique map being Taiko Temple.
Very close to being the big 3. We were close. 2 out of 3.
Yep, and now we kind of have somewhat like the big 4 with Clarion Test Chamber being one of those additional maps that's being picked more often. So interesting. We have our 3 maps here. We only will see Night Market if it ends up going to game 3. But for games 1 and 2, it'll be at least Oni Village and Taiko Temple. It looks like I want to make sure I'm getting it correct. It was first map ban was Spiraling Misfortune. I don't know if that means they're also blue side for first pick in character draft. Regardless, one of these teams will have an advantage here in the advantage, meaning first pick priority on Oni Village. So let's talk about that map first. The character pools that we tend to see on Oni Village are less damage comps. Usually the midfielders tend to be more characters like Estelle specifically. You can almost guarantee that you'll see Estelle either picked or banned on this game. And also, we didn't talk about the Awakening Orbs, so that'll or the starting Awakenings, that'll play into this as well. We have Orb Dancer and Cast to Last being picked up here as our starting Awakenings. So that'll play. That could, that Cast to Last could open up an Octavia pick here. So just looking at who we have, Octavia can come out.
Oh yeah, I mean this is definitely a great map for it too, where damage is weaker.
Yes,
It's got CTL on the board. Even Orb Dancer is not bad on Octavia.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take CTL here, I would hope. And oh, and they don't like brawlers very much.
Yeah, so these two brawlers tend to be one of the ones that have easier time breaking the barriers. And you'd be surprised because they don't really have stuffing power, but Rasmus has the ability to outplay with his death touch, the hook being able to reposition the core, and usually you end up breaking the barrier not through a pushing power, but maybe through just like, a little quick maneuver, breaking someone's ankle, repositioning there. And Kazan can do that as well really easily with his extended range on the closed primary or the pull on his closed primary as well. Or so taking a look at the picks here, we have pick one being now for retro. Sorry, retro overflow, which I believe now is most likely going to go to Streak goalie. That would have to be my guess here.
I can see it definitely.
He's
It's interesting first pick on Oni as well. Not something I see as often actually.
Yeah, definitely not a high prio there. I'm very surprised that the Estelle made it down to pick 4.
Yeah.
Picks 2 and 3 being Zentaro Kai, which we can expect are actually not sure if that's the Kai is going to be midfield or not. We'll find out here by pick number 6. But taking a look at Retro's team, completely rounded out here, we got the now Estelle and Julie. The now Estelle and Julie being picked up here. Now goalie, Estelle midfield, Julie forward is what I expect here. The Mako being locked in has me believe that it is Mako goalie, and we'll be seeing a Kai midfield with a Zentaro forward.
Yeah, Mako not known much for her outfield anymore, as the last patch I think did quite a bit of damage according to Fiery.
So Fiery, one of the known Mako forward players.
Yeah,
so I'll trust his opinion.
Yeah, I would
on that.
take his word for it. He's also tried it in my presence a couple times, and it's been rough post patch.
Yeah, it has a lot of stuffing power with all the additional hits from the secondary, the primary reset, and then the strike resets. And then especially if you get the ensnaring drums off on an enemy goalie, it's almost like a guaranteed point every time.
Yeah, try flipping out of that, right? It's tough.
So these are so it was retro overflow here with the blue side here. So taking a look at their overall comp, it's going to be pretty nice. I expect Streak to be going momentum boost or strike shot on the now. Doesn't need a eject button because you have that somewhat built in thanks to the ultimate ability there. And then besides that, it's looking like a pretty standard comp. I don't expect anything in particular. I also expect almost all 6 players to go Orb Dancer here.
Yeah, I would. I don't see a CTO angle from most of these characters.
The only one who could use it well would be the Kai, and might end up taking it just so that they're not stepping on each other's toe. Maybe you get some more value out of that way, and let your brawler focus on getting the orbs in the midfield.
Yeah, absolutely. And Elo Heaven, I assume, on the tried and true Estelle here. That's a pick I am very, very familiar with him. I don't think I've actually ever seen him play anything else.
So it is Leo Leon 500 on the Julie. The Estelle is going to be, like you said, going over a little bit of a visual bug. Happens all the time.
Yeah. We're not unfamiliar, unfortunately.
Yeah, there are not 2 Juliets in this game. Don't worry about that.
I'm sorry to disappoint.
So yeah, Elo Heaven on the Estelle. Oh my, flashing the emotes nice and early there.
Oh yeah.
Starting off strong, one barrier being taken out here. Elo Heaven using the Rose Warp, goes in, gets knocked out immediately, trades one barrier down, and now it is a barrage happening onto the goal line of Core Retroflow. Immediate, the KO into barrier take, both Cardbox, Lalamau XED jumping in, breaking that final barrier, and scoring immediately on the streak.
No time wasted at all. They were not going to let that power play go to waste whatsoever. And it looks like they're still got the momentum a little bit here. First barrier going down.
Yeah, and you'd be surprised because usually on this map, if you can get one good clear, the core ends up stalling for such a long time because of how big the map is and how much time it just takes to go retrieve it again. Core.
These Oni Village corners take a really long time to get the ball out. And fortunately, we haven't seen that yet. Core Retroflow struggling a little bit to spiraling Misfortune's offense here.
Yeah, surprised again. Both barriers dropped so quickly here. Forgot walking up there, trying to get the rebound there to allow Lalamau to stay up as much as possible. And that's one of the things that I like. You have that barrier to back you up, but you can afford to risk the barrier falling because you know that the goal gates won't open right away. So I like that he goes up for the rebound rather than making his midfielder or brawler do it. And it allows the brawler to stay in that scoring position and then take advantage of the rebound itself.
Absolutely. Ooh, the wide clear was read by Elo Heaven there, and Box is going to flip it out.
Looking good so far. A lot of energy bursts available here. The Zentaro still holding on. We get one pop by Streak. Isn't able to make do with much, but take a look at Cardbox. Leo Leon is looking for this kill. Actually ends up letting it go because the Orb Dancer is probably just going to make it too hard to catch up. And Barrier dropped again. These are 3 points in a row that Core Retroflow have lost their barriers.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're struggling to get this last barrier here. Looks like a good offense here.
The Juliet dash push doesn't connect, unfortunately. That could have been a slow core rolling in. Doesn't end up going through. Cardbox having to back up just a little bit, but Leo Leon with the nice punch manages to get that final barrier here and forgot for the first time has to defend an open net.
Look at Leo go.
I love that. Dribble off the top wall to set up the dash punch. I don't even think he had the fiery fist available, and it was just the dash.
Yeah,
that got it in.
If you don't need it, you don't need it.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if he did have it. All right.
One of the nice things about kickoff here is Elo Heaven on the Estelle. Usually, almost every kickoff, if you have the core on your side as Estelle, you can use your primary to hit both the core and the opposing forward. And it makes it really tough. You're either going to have to use an elusive to contest that core, or just eat the shot, right?
Yeah, and I would say core flip is a very valuable resource on this map as well. So
yeah.
Having to evade that can be honestly devastating for your offense long term.
Oh my God,
Leo
Leon with a great play there. So I like the way he he went about that offense, waiting to pick up the core. He let the core slowly dribble or slowly move so that he could get the orb, reposition with the movement speed, then uses the Juliet ultimate to break the barrier, still has the speed active, and then goes in for the dash punch to finish it off.
Yeah. It's going to be 1-to-1 barrier here.
And I didn't even realize, but we're back at 2-2.
Yeah.
It was just Leo Leon scoring 2 points really quickly to come right back. Streak has that defensive energy burst if he needs to use it, and he has the extra movement speed from just having a goalie orb sitting around all the time. And look at him contesting. I like what he's doing there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Walks up, uses the mine to push Lalomel back to allow him to get his own speed burst from the orb and deny it from Zentaro.
Yeah, Streak unfortunately missing that core flip a little bit earlier. I mean, Streak got the core flip, but Lalomel was not able to intercept. Going to be low on energy across the board against some of these players.
Yeah,
on the way though. So is Box.
Ooh.
Nice knife.
Nice shot from Elo Heaven. Manages to pick up the core and forgot at the same time, securing that barrier here. Streak using that mine to redirect the core just a little bit to get it out of the corner here. Cardbox has that energy burst and is looking for a way to use it. It's really awkward on the midfield because you want to like walk up to help your forward break it. A lot of the time you can't really do it yourself, but there manages to find the pass to Lalomel, who redirects it perfectly. Leo Leon hitting the spread out.
Not
big.
quite the pass he was looking for, I'm afraid.
Happens at times. Streak coming in for the offensive play here. And what a great Rose Warp from Elo Heaven there. Manages to get the point himself, securing that final point needed to win round 1 here. Going into this draft, it is Elo Heaven who has the advantage.
Ooh, lots of good stuff here. Prawn potentially.
Or Ponder as well, right? The double orbs is going to be really, really big here to allow for all these extra abilities. The thing is, there is, I don't want to say there's a downside, but typically on Oni Village, when you're playing Estelle, and correct me, I mean, you've been there too.
Oh,
a lot of the time you hold your abilities just for when you need it to break the barriers, or you tend to be sitting on your abilities more often on this map.
Absolutely.
So the Orb Ponder is not going to get as much value, but the fact that you have double orbs, it's going to be putting in work.
Yeah, you can certainly be a little bit more liberal with your cooldowns, especially if you know the orbs are coming up. And heck, even in the pocket, you might be able to pick up an orb while you're running offense. You never know.
Exactly. And sometimes, hey, if I'm Elo Heaven, I will be Rose Warping onto Forgot's goal line for that, for his orb.
We've seen it work before too. That Rose Warp is so intimidating.
You get half the cooldown back anyways, and then you get the speed boost to redirect. And so far, so good for Core Retroflow. They started off round 1 really shaky there. Losing their barriers almost for the first 3 points immediately, but coming back strong, and I'm sure the momentum from winning that first set is gonna be doing well here. Streak, I actually didn't pay attention. Did Streak end up getting Manu off that draft?
So, yes, and look at that, the size of that primary. It's massive.
Which is gonna help quite a bit. It's not on the midfield, so you're not gonna be able to use it to stuff the enemy goal, but the amount of damage you do as now is very surprising. So it's going to add up here. We can already see the Centauro brought down to a quarter HP here.
Oh, and that flip's going to do it. Fantastic flip from Box, taking out a Streak in the net.
Yeah, it's really hard there for Streak. He has to kind of back up there, so he's trying to outmaneuver Cardbox. But unfortunately, too close to the edge, and Cardbox continuously walking forward there. Knew what to do with that energy burst to push Streak out of the goal line completely. And managed to secure that point, giving them the lead in this set. But if last set was anything like, if this is going to be anything like last set, it's not over until the final point is scored.
Absolutely. And what a great barrage from Box just a little bit earlier there to take that top barrier.
Yeah,
Retroflow looking to answer back. Oh, and unfortunately, it's just slow but painful.
Yeah, a really good play by Leo Leon there with the flip into the primary to secure the barrier, but Core ended up getting sent back and
nobody there to answer.
Yeah, Spiraling Misfortune picking it up, 2-0 lead.
But we've seen this before, unfortunately. This is definitely something Retroflow is familiar with already in this set.
Yeah, definitely. So let's see if they can manage to keep the barriers up long enough for Leo Leon and Elo Heaven to make a play here. Good flip from Streak, but this time, Low manages to catch it with his own energy burst, but the rush from Centauro, the secondary, not able to pick it up. And Leo Leon answering in kind, grabbing that barrier.
Forgot holding on to energy burst here. Such great discipline.
Yeah, holding it till the last possible minute. Doesn't want to use it if he doesn't have to.
But unfortunately, he never will.
And that energy burst is gone completely. KO'd off the side. Leo Leon picking up the kill and then finishing off the goal.
Yeah, and quite the energy deficit here at this point. Box with no evade at all, and the other two with not much to ask. I mean, not much with them.
Yeah, Elo Heaven has the energy burst needed here. Goes for the shot. Doesn't manage to get through Cardbox, who has a great barrage there to kind of stop the Estelle stuffing. Forgot holding down that spacebar. Mako's secondary special, just pushing away the core. Doesn't let it get in there. Good defense. Leo Leon, just barely missing the setup there. Good attempt from him, but is going to have to wait like another 15 seconds to try again. Just misses the strike. A really awkward situation there, but a little bit of a mechanical misplay from Streak.
Yeah, I saw the vision. I was a fan, but
hey, sometimes there's creative clears that you never really know about until someone else does it for the first time. But a slow roll-in Core.
Look at that.
Manages to, surprising enough, just a simple shot pushes it in.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're waving. They're waving. A lot of people really like that new IME emote. And here we are. I see Catalyst. Definitely a strong awakening here.
Catalyst definitely strong. Less effective on this map just due to how big it is. But regardless, still one of the best awakenings available in the game. Anything related to energy, getting more energy burst is absolutely huge. And then it plays into the quick strike Catalyst combo if that ends up coming through for just having energy burst all the time. Looking at everything else here, Hotshot picked up for Estelle, which is really good. It means that the Estelle primary will just be so much more effective, because a lot of times when you hit both the core and the enemy, if the core isn't moving fast enough to get past them, they can react after the hit stun anyway.
Yes.
But that hot shot's going to allow it to move so much quicker and get more effective barrier breaks.
Both barriers down very quickly
10
here.
seconds into the round, and like you said, both barriers down on each side here.
Great stuff from Wolamau, getting it out, but he's not done yet. And look at that angle. Not going to be able to make it in. And hey, Monu now coming out already. Got it out very quick with a primary.
Yep. Elo Heaven trying to set it up here. Goes for the Rose Warp. Gets the rebound back to Leo Leon, who manages to secure it in. Juliet with just one of those brawlers that has such high stuffing potential thanks to the combination of the secondary dash and the fist from her primary.
Something very interesting that happened in the draft we didn't mention as well. Wolamau actually opted to pass up sudden impact, the explosive entrance.
Yeah.
Pardon me. My League of Legends terminology coming out. I've exposed myself. But already had a dash awakening, but just very unfortunate.
Yeah, and sometimes that happens. Lolamau, even with a teammate down, manages to break both barriers by himself, hold on to the energy burst, pops it, patiently waits, finds the angle, tying it up 1-1.
Yeah.
And one thing to note is when Cardbox died there, that was full energy he had before getting KO'd. So that's an energy burst lost, even with Catalyst there.
Ooh, and unfortunately, Wolamau's life is lost here. Bit of a power play for Retroflow. Let's see what they can do with it.
Very surprised at the amount of KOs coming out on this map here. Good amount of damage from a composition that you wouldn't really expect to be able to put that much damage, although they have good KO potential just from knockback, I would say.
Yeah.
But the damage is surprisingly putting in the work here.
Absolutely. Very violent Oni Village game, and it's getting more violent on that top barrier.
Yeah, a good play between Elo Heaven and Leo Leon to break that top barrier. And now we have an offensive play. It feels like it's uncommon to see Core Retroflow with their own barrier up, but there it is. The flip into the punch is all you need. Get some hit stun onto the enemy goalie and essentially guarantee that you're going to score that point.
I must say, I bet you Manu now is quite good with an open net on this map as well. Maybe not the greatest at holding barriers, but I'll say those explosive mines, you got a lot of range on them.
Yeah.
Not a lot of mix-up potential for just a normal strike to cruise it on in.
A lot of range on it to help defend, and then you have the speed that it provides as well. And you'll see a lot of the time, Streak will be using the now explosion, placing it on his midfielder to help them win an interaction as well.
Oh, but like flip, catching it, getting the barrier, and Bob's doing a great job making sure it doesn't get back.
Oh, using the energy burst to try to catch it there on the pass to. Oh my goodness!
Core flip intercepted.
Core flip intercepted, and that is a 3-1 set going over to Core Retroflow, who now have the lead in sets.
Yeah. Let's see what this draft is going to pop here. I expect some size potentially. Yeah, there's Might of Colossus.
But looking like an unstoppable pickup. Might of Colossus not going to be as powerful because there's only Big Fish Rampage still available. And taking a look at what we have left, I think it's just unstoppable to help secure. It's probably unstoppable for both the deny. It does help Julie a little bit. It stops for any Julie players. They know how easily you can get your dash punch interrupted from any ability. So it helps with securing your own barrier takes. And then it is a deny from the Mako as well.
Yeah, certainly a pick I enjoy as well. The dash punch being interrupted is so devastating too. It's not something that comes up very often, frankly.
Yep.
At least some of these other brawlers like Kazan with their close primary always have access to something usually.
Yeah. And then taking a look, Leo Leon does have the other two dash awake or the other two size awakenings. Has the Big Fish, has the Rampage. So the Might of the Colossus is definitely an option there, but choosing the quality of life of Unstoppable instead there.
Yeah, I assume he thought he was big enough.
Yeah.
Big enough bully this game. And oh yeah, wow, great save from Fox. Good defense, but the Crystal Thorns.
The Crystal Thorns securing that. Not a hard-hitting move, but just a long-range attack with a lot of small projectiles there that makes it really hard to clear out of.
Yeah, it keeps the goalie honest. No wide clears here, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's really tough to deal with it. It's one of those things where if you know it's coming, maybe you can play around it a little bit better by walking in front of the core, tanking the Crystal Thorn. But it's one of those things that you can't really expect people to do on the fly always. But there is like, it's not 100% guaranteed to score, but it's really hard to defend.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Again, it is also just the mental game that plays on your goalie.
Yes.
It's always in the back of their mind. And look at that great core flip coming out from Spiraling Misfortune here.
Yeah, the Zentaro flip, finding the angles there. Lalamel has been doing a great job in general of finding these open angles with his energy burst there. Even with Streak being able to cover a large majority of the net thanks to the mine, isn't able to cover all of it. And Lalamel finding the spot that he needs to ensure that the goal goes in. Has been having a lot of success with that.
Leo Leon winning a lot of strike wars there to get that barrier.
Hits two people.
Wow.
The strike into the punch to break the barrier, managed to get the rebound off it as well. 1v2, finishing it all, 2-1 lead, and potentially a game point here for this game number one.
Yeah, Leo Leon not unstoppable just in the awakening department. You know? Very, very strong player, winning a lot of those strike wars, and back in the corner already with one barrier down.
A nice attempt there by Elo Heaven. Didn't have the primary to get a more optimal barrier attempt, but still manages to keep the core up there. Leo Leon once again finding success on barrier on Julie without even needing a full combo, which is very impressive to say the least. Streak just trying to stall out a little bit to get people to reposition here.
Probably need their cooldowns back as well after that great offense.
Oh, walks up. I like what he did there. Walks up with the core to get in range to pop the now mine on top of Elo Heaven, who now is somewhat healthy again. Not anymore, as I say that. Gold gates open here on Core Retroflow side. Yeah, now they're in full defense mode.
Lots of strikers being staggered right here, and Vox on offense can't find it.
Not able to find it, but they do find a KO, and now is Lalamau using the energy, or using the speed from Orb Dancer, finds a pass to Cardbox, but Cardbox was not ready for that at all. And
flipping
missed the
the
attempt.
no.
Uses an extra flip that was needed, or then needed, but they managed to secure the point.
That's what matters. Certainly good for the mental, of course. And unfortunately, they are bankrupt energy-wise.
Yeah,
Got
and
nothing left in the tank.
no one here really has much in terms of the energy economy. Cardbox can probably build it up the fastest thanks to the Catalyst pickup here. First barrier being taken by Elo Heaven, and now trying to look for the second one. Good attempt there on defense, and a good clear from Streak, managing to save their second barrier here. Unstoppable up, finds the read with the dash punch there, goes up top.
And that's just not savable.
The flurry comes out, and Leo Leon wraps up game number 1.
Ended it at a set 4. Didn't want to see that next Awakening draft.
Yeah, don't want to go to set 5 there. Let everyone end the game right there. And one more win from Core Retroflow will push them into winners finals.
Up against quite the team as well.
But it's not over yet. Spiraling Misfortune have a chance to bring this over to a game 3. Game number 2 is going to go to a much more volatile map here with Taiko Temple.
Oh, yes. It's going to be a lot different than what we saw there. I think we're going to see potentially an even more violent game.
So depending on the starting Awakenings, it can change things. But it'll be Spiraling Misfortune that will have the blue side first pick advantage here. So I'm not sure what they're going to go for in terms of priority picks. But a lot of the strong characters on Taiko Temple tend to be the characters with creation stuffing, or just like strong stuffing abilities in the corner. One pick that we tend to see a lot more on that map more than others is Asher.
Yes.
And I'm not sure if anyone here has an Asher. I think Lolamal can pilot it, and I know for a fact Streak can play it just fine in the goalie position, but not sure what their take is on the meta of that map.
Yes. A map that I think also, like a Rune Asher duo, is also quite good. I don't believe we have. I think Box plays a little bit of Rune, but
yeah, but usually not that popular. Rune being one of the characters that typically is only really being played by me, sometimes Vaughn, in these competitive tournaments, or Shianzu, something like that.
Yeah, it's he's not in a great spot, many would say, but I think that might be a map where he is relevant.
Depending on the Awakening start, if it is a Creation Awakening, maybe Siege Machine, Castellas, or Manu as one of the starting Awakenings, you can see the Rune come out. He has really high KO potential there because of how close to the sides you are. You can get his push combo going, where you put both pillars down, and it forces them to go through both of them just straight off the map. And then if you can get it into one of the corners of Taiko Temple and place a pillar behind it, it's almost a guaranteed barrier every time.
Yeah.
And then the same thing applies to Asher there. With how much stuffing potential she has, and especially with the ultimate ability, just having this long-lasting creation that has a large amount of hitboxes.
Yeah, absolutely. Another character that could probably use Manu quite well on that map as well. And
if you're playing midfield here, what are the picks that you like to take?
Personally, I'm a big fan of Now on this map. You can't go wrong with the mine and those tight little alleyways on this map, and also keeps you safe from a lot of the damage that can happen as the drum knocking you around. I think Vice, a lot of damage. It's hard to avoid her primary. A lot of people are going to get hit by it. Rune, if you want to take the core control angle, but frankly speaking, I think you'd rather have Now or Vice. Yeah, I definitely agree there. I think Now and Vice are definitely just stronger picks in general. The Vice, especially, like you said, usually you're clumped up together, which means the chain lightning is going to proc pretty easily. You can hit one person and get a lot of damage onto a lot of people. And on top of that, if you get into the corner, the supernova just does so much damage there, and it's really hard to avoid. You tend to have to either elusive, give up the barrier, or try to stop it and take a good chunk of your life. Yeah.
The stacker takes quite a big of a hit there. And then Now in general, having access to the mines for more pushing potential, and that is something that if you see Now with Manu on that map, you can be pretty far back and just stuff the core in really easily there with the secondary.
It's so tough to get it away at that point too.
So we have access to our starting Awakenings here. It's going to be 1-2 Punch and Reptile Remedy here. A Stagger Awakening available, as well as some damage. Some of the best pickups here for 1-2 Punch, at least the brawler position, can be taken a look at. The Julie could be making a return. The Zentaro is such a great user of 1-2 Punch. Kazan as well. But we've been seeing less Kazan in general at this tournament here. Has taken a little bit of a nerf here. Not bad at all, but some of the other characters have been shining a little bit more. And honestly, we might see an X too.
Yeah, X with 1-2 is pretty good. I think this is one of his better maps as well. Nice and small for him. And once you get it in the corner, he's going to give it to you.
Exactly.
But
So
Reptile Remedy, I think, is a great pickup for Kazan potentially as well. One of I think Kazan's biggest weaknesses, he's quite fragile. He's going to take
Yep.
a lot of damage, but 400 stagger and that little heal you get every time you touch the core could be worth it.
and Kazan is one of the brawlers that has some of the most amount of contact with the core thanks to his closed strike box there. Usually ends up in a lot of strike wars, and it's one of his strong suits. So can definitely make use of that reptile remedy as well. But yeah, I'm curious to see who's going to like almost everyone that can take 1-2 punch can also just take reptile remedy just fine. And it's one of those things where the reptile remedy, while its scaling is not as exponential as the sparks are, can synergize well with some of the other stagger awakenings from the game, like bulk up, peak performance, or reverberation. And now we also have access to Big Fish back. So it's another kind of like stagger build that you can go. But like I said, the scaling on there is more linear than it is exponential.
Yeah, it definitely can't get too out of control, but you can become unkillable.
That is true.
And Asher very much likes that.
Asher absolutely loves that. Can still die to knockback, which is something that this map you will see regardless, right? You can be at full stagger, but if you're a little bit too close to the edge, at least expect someone to make an attempt on your character for that knockout.
Yeah, especially approaching that pocket with the barriers, it's very difficult to get in there without some consequences. Yep. Better position behind a drum and pray.
So in terms of goalies here, we have seen pretty much all goalies are pretty viable here, but I tend to see more melee defensive goalies here. The Atlas, the Dubus, the Ashers, the Makos. Those characters tend to see a little bit more gameplay here. Just because a lot of the time when you're playing a ranged goalie, some of the advantages that you have is you can clear in different ways, but as in like you could redirect the core to a different angle altogether and prevent the core from coming to you earlier, and then apply some offensive pressure. But the defensive goalies instead, like the Atlas, Dubu, Asher, usually have so many hitboxes and long-lasting like wall-like creations that they can force even with all the attempts on your barrier, they can typically just fight back and push it through you.
Yeah, and it's certainly easier to pilot as well. Less stressful for a tournament environment, perhaps. If you're piloting the IME, perhaps even in Estelle, sure, you can keep it on their side, but God forbid it comes to you.
Yeah. So definitely plenty of trade-offs here. It's always a difference of aggression versus defensive, like the ultimate defense versus the ultimate offense type of playstyle.
Yeah, absolutely. And another interesting topic is if you do want to play Asher, where do you want to play her?
Exactly. You have the option to play her both forward and goalie, both of which are extremely tough to deal with, right? If you have her on brawler, the stuffing potential is absolutely insane. But you could say the same thing as the goalie, right? Having the primary in the goal box where she has more abilities, or I should say more benefits because she's on her half of the field.
Yeah.
One of the, I guess, characteristics of Asher being that she gets some more strength while being on her side. The specific interaction, I think, is her passive is permanent on her side for the duration of it.
I believe so.
Rather than being a single hit shield.
Definitely going for that unbreakable wall on her side.
So taking a look at the ban phase here, it is Zentaro banned away, and the same thing with Kazan. Taking away these brawlers that have high effectiveness with the 1-2 punch and a lot of damage just being removed from the pool, meaning our brawler picks left over are taking a look at that. Asher picked up round 1 here, leaving now I would say X Juliet as the two next strongest picks in my opinion.
This is definitely another map where I think Mako forward was also a decent angle at one point. I don't think we'll be seeing it, unfortunately.
Yeah, the stuffing potential from the Mako there, the ensnaring drums, it is picked up. I do think we will see it in the goal box. This is something that it is. I'm actually looking at this reverse because I thought blue side was retro overflow, but I forgot that it was swapped here.
Yeah.
So I was going to say that just played it last game, so we could probably just see it being played again. But now I'm not sure anymore because it's being picked up by retro overflow. It might actually be Leo Leon on the Mako forward. Little bit of a insider info here from Lob City. Leo Leon has been wanting to play this quite often here on forward position. Streak can play it just fine, so no doubt that if we see it on Streak, it's not really going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, but it looks like it will be on Streak.
It looked like it will be on Streak, and Leo Leon going to be taking the 1-2 punch to pair with the Juliet here. I expect the Reptile Remedy to go on the Estelle and Mako maybe, just a little bit more defensive health. But 1-2 punch, honestly, everyone in this game can use 1-2 punch just fine. It's just a matter of the playstyle preference if we want to go for more damage, or if we like the extra stagger.
Yeah, absolutely. It also just want to say it is going to be Asher goalie. Well, actually, I guess it's hard to say, huh?
It really is hard to say, but I do think it will be Asher goalie with the Rasmus forward there, and then the Imi midfield.
Yeah, I think that makes the most sense. And turret, very strong on this map. Nowhere to run once that's placed.
Yeah, once you got the firewall sentry down, if you angle it correctly, it's almost a guaranteed barrier every time. We don't have access to Timeless Creator anymore, which allowed the time duration of the firewall sentry to stay out longer. But even without it, it's still such a strong ability there, especially when paired with extra special.
Yes, I mean, the character certainly didn't lose relevance even after losing Timeless Creator, so that should speak for the turret's merit on its own.
Oh yeah, one of those abilities that, for any of my Overwatch friends, I like to compare it to Torbjorn turret. It's just something that you can rely on to get his job done. No human interaction needed.
Yep.
Put it down, it'll do exactly what it's told.
I've made a joke that Imi turret might be better than Rune's entire kit, but you know, I don't know if anybody needs to believe that, but you heard it here first.
Going into this game now, we have everyone locked into their positions here. Like we said, it is going to be Forgot on the Asher here. Lalamau going to be playing the Rasmus, who Rasmus is one of his most played characters there. First KO coming out here was that Leo Leon who took out Cardbox.
Yeah, no time wasted at all. That 1-2 coming in mighty early.
And that is a perfect example of exactly what I was talking about with the Asher goalie here. We had Leo Leon using Juliet's ultimate ability there, and then a simple primary from Forgot was able to push it through. And that is kind of just the strength of these melee goalies. If you had any ranged goalie there, the barrier is being broken.
Absolutely, and I believe Asher is also running Strike Shot. That special from Asher going quite far into the corner without having to step up all that far.
So one of the things that has kind of changed with the community's perception of these melee goalies, a lot of the times you'd be seeing pauldrons being picked up, powerhouse pauldrons being picked up to increase the size of the goalie, but the extra range that Strike Shot provides kind of gives you a pseudo ranged goalie effect, where you can at least interact with the core, preventing it from coming to you and putting you in a situation where you have to take either a strike war or use abilities to clear it out.
Yeah, it certainly helps you maintain momentum on offense, and it certainly helps some of your weaknesses if they wide clear.
Yes,
taking
exactly.
A barrier, perhaps.
Just giving you more options in general. It does make you lose a little bit of power, a little bit of size, but the trade-off is well worth it here. We're seeing the strike shot come out from Forgot there, trying to just help keep the core up. And we're trading strike shots back and forth between Streak as well. From the previous attempt, Lalamau used that death touch and just had it covered. Oh, taking a look. So someone's winning something in the background there.
He's having a good time. Oh, and the snipe not going to take it. It's on Lalamau right now. Primary not going to.
Good attempt there from the pendulum swing. But overall, ooh, a good redirect from Elo Heaven. Crystal Thorns coming out, able to get it over Forgot. That is one of the downsides of that melee goalie. When you don't have that strike shot up, you just don't have access to all of the net.
Yeah, sometimes forced to just keep clearing it to the corner and praying that primary can bail you out eventually, perhaps a secondary.
Yep. You are more powerful, I would say, in general, when you have those barriers up, because it's very easy to lock down the barrier. But on an open net, that's where kind of the ranged goalies have the advantage. And Mako, a little bit of a hybrid of both type of characters here, has the primary that goes essentially all the way across the map, and then can also help enhance your team with the secondary effect of her secondary. We also see a KO come out onto Lalamau from Streak, who was not realizing the power that Mako has here. But definitely a bully. You tend not to realize how much damage Mako can put out, but it's quite a bit.
Look at that beautiful dribble from Leo Leon, getting right into that net and flipping.
Yeah, using that power play to their advantage, managed to break both barriers there, and then a great use of the energy burst secures the second point here. Starting off, we have Streak, who only won with the energy burst left, but doesn't need to use it anytime soon. Just holding it on for a good defensive play. Leo Leon taking a little bit of his health. Firewall Sentry comes down. Not the best placement for that Firewall Sentry. Doesn't really get value, and long cooldown. I think it's almost 40 seconds.
Yeah, certainly a while. And both brawlers not looking all that healthy. And oh my goodness, what a strange balance.
One of them getting hit by the top corner, the top right corner of the middle bongo there, sending him at a vertical angle, which you wouldn't expect, but trading a KO back, it is Lalamau who just returns, but has to wait for his IME box to make an appearance here. One barrier being dropped as Leo Leon tries to go for the second one. Forgot has access to the energy burst for defensive use, but let's see how well he can hold this last barrier down.
Yeah, Lalamau unfortunately no evade, and it's going to pay out really quick. Leo Leon very aware.
It's one of those things where these brawlers are so good at knowing where to position the core in a way that it forces the enemy forward or midfield to take a strike in a position really close to the edge of the wall where they can take advantage of the Juliet range on the dash punch, especially enhanced with 1-2 punch, but not enough to help Core Retroflow score that point. It comes back from the grave, and Cardbox plus Lalamau able to secure the first point for them in this game number 2.
Absolutely. May have been out of the field for about 10 seconds or so, but had a lot of time to think about what he was going to do when he came back.
Came in strong, but Leo Leon coming back just as strong. Oh my goodness. 1-2 punch. The full combo of Juliet being able to do the entire health bar, or the entire stagger of both the goalie and Rasmus there. And for those who aren't aware, the energy burst that you have actually scales with Awakening and gains the effects of those Awakenings there. Essentially meaning that the 1-2 punch enhances it quite a bit.
Oh yeah. Boy, and reading the blink there, good stuff from Elo Heaven, but Forgot holding strong.
Trying his best there, Elo Heaven with a lot of attempts on net, but unable to get it. Leo Leon also not able to follow up there in time, but a good defense from Streak. I'm surprised that bottom barrier stayed up this entire time here. Strike shot sends it out, and Elo Heaven is making the core, moving the core forward as Cardbox forced to use the energy burst there to just clear it out defensively. And now they're finally going back for their offensive push on the on that last barrier, but Streak is doing such a phenomenal job of clearing it out. As I say that, of course,
yeah.
Final barrier drops.
Commentator's curse, as they say.
As usual here. Oh, but a good glitch. Not enough though. Core doesn't move fast enough. Streak able to react to it just fine here. Finds the cyber swipe there onto Leo Leon, putting him in hit stun and getting that straight horizontal shot onto the net.
I must say, these points look very bad for spiraling Misfortune. At first, the Misfortune is spiraling in the beginning, but they always seem to come back and make it happen.
Yeah, managed to find their way back. The first 2 points were looking really good for Core Retroflow, but now we're tied 2-2 here. Streak losing both barriers. Once again, trading one back. Leo Leon trying to find the second one. Unable to get it here, and now we're on an open net situation with both forwards trying to find the shot. But Leo Leon getting the kill and turning this into a power play for Retroflow.
And the core flip is so scary here. Wow, what a great save from Forgot, that secondary.
So the secondary allowed the Asher passive to exist, and it was the Asher passive that kind of got that rebound there. One of the strengths of Asher goalie. But a great glitch mob, sending the core back down to Cardbox, allowing him to get a strike there. Just a great play overall from them.
I believe Cardbox scoring all 3 goals there, 2 with the cyber swipe, and that one with the glitch pop and a strike. Looking very good out there.
Work. We could see the EXP distribution is slightly off though, as Core Retroflow will have 2 members that will go before Cardbox. So taking a look at this, we have both orbs up, which reduces the value of them, since you cannot. It means for 100% for a fact you cannot get both. But regardless, it's still a great pickup either way here. Taking a look at everything else here, Catalyst being put on Leo Leon, which is a difficult thing. It's tough. I think if you're Asher there, you should take the Catalyst here, because now if we take a look at Leo Leon's energy economy, it's gonna be a lot of energy burst coming out from him.
Yeah, I mean, look at the energy already. Even like Leo Leon's on his.
He's it is 10 seconds into the round and he has flip.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hectic in the corner on this map. It's really hard to avoid hitting people with Catalyst if that's your plan.
The rapid fire is a good pickup there, but I don't think it is worth the trade-off of of giving the enemy team Catalyst. But let's see if maybe they can make use of the rapid fire. Unable to protect that bottom barrier though, and now we're in an open net situation for Spiraling Misfortune as Leo Leon is walking his way back up with the core here, trying to just find a shot or trying to find a way to put a solid attempt onto the net. Isn't able to get it. I like the firewall sentry from Cardbox, but a good clear from Streak manages to send the ball back forward.
Solid offense met with solid defense. Don't wait out here. That core flip was looking a little bit suspect in the beginning.
Ooh,
save him.
Lalamau getting saved by the drum there. Leo Leon did find the correct angle. I was going to say Leo Leon. Elo Heaven Great shot there. Crystal Thorns plus the piercing shot manages to get the combo manages to find the small angle below Forgot.
Oh yeah. And Core Flip was unfortunately not an option in that hit stun.
And now as we go on to point number 2 here, a lot of energy available for everyone. Oh my goodness.
Barrier, he's not even done.
What
oh
a
my
pass.
goodness.
Elo Heaven sending it straight to Lilian, finding the double on the barrier there, pops the energy burst, and it's just, that's it. That's the point.
Yeah.
We're up 2-0, but remember, last set started the same way too.
Yeah. Hey, look, the Misfortune spiraling, and it's in the team name. I think they can handle it.
Yeah, I think they're doing just fine here, but we're already seeing a little bit of a level disparity between the two brawlers. Level 7 on Leo Leon and then level 4 on Law Lamau. So we can see how much each one of them is participating in these points. Law Lamau trying to just do his best to stay alive here.
Got very lucky getting out of that dash punch combo. Would have knocked him right against the drum.
100% there. And now finally making his way back here. Doesn't have as much stagger just due to being low in levels. Gets to level 5 here and gets an orb to heal back up. And now it is still, a good, I like what Forgot did there. Just walked up to help secure the final barriers there. But Law Lamau finally being taken out here. They still have the power play and both barriers up, so I don't think it is too much pressure on them yet. And a good defense helps keep the core out.
Oh my goodness! Unfortunately, that middle shot again. Asher not good at covering that.
Unfortunate. Wanted to get the clear onto the bottom side, but ends up going over to Elo Heaven, who finds the double barrier once again. Leo Leon is taken out here, so they do have the advantage, but it's open net on both sides.
Yeah. Something I also wanted to mention while we have time here. Rasmus is a character that what a great save! But Rasmus is a character in the corner here I don't feel as oppressive as things like Asher, X, and all these other things. Once the net is open, though, Rasmus can really shine a lot on this map.
Because one of the advantages one of the pros and cons of Rasmus is the pendulum swing has one of the highest ranged primaries of all the brawlers in the game here. But because of that, when you're in the corner, it has the slimmer hitbox when you're up close. So it's not really good at stuffing, but from a range distance, if you can space yourself out, it's one of the best abilities at scoring. And Bounce Around the World manages to get the bounce off the middle bongo and score the point.
Certainly. Unfortunate core flip there. Didn't work out the way he had it in mind, I imagine.
Happens sometimes. Some of these angles can't always predict them. But that is the first point of this set going over to Spiraling Misfortune. We see an attempt there by Rasmus to get the second barrier. Isn't able to find the positioning that he needs or the spacing. Elo Heaven using the Rose Orb to get in. Almost manages to get it through Forgot. Still managing to keep the corner as long as they can. But a good cyber swipe from Cardbox plus combo of strikes from Law Lamau. Gets that final barrier here. Energy Burst coming out. Leo Leon with a great ultimate. But no, it is Cardbox with the glitch pop. Managing to find the final shot they need to, once again, repeat of set 1. Tied up 2-2.
Yeah, the Misfortune is starting to spiral for the other team now.
And it feels like Core Retroflow is in charge or dominating this game in terms of how it's being played. But right now it's tied with Spiraling Misfortune in lead in sets.
Yeah, and that Estelle is quite large right now, winning those strike wars. Oh, in the corner. This is looking fantastic for Misfortune.
And there we see a good use of the Firewall Sentry. The Streak understanding completely that the barrier is gone and just move out, cut your losses, and go protect the other one.
Great evade from Law Lamau, knowing that 1-2 punch Juliet is not going to waste a second. He sees that opportunity, she's going to take it.
Yep.
In the corner here, but
it's
going to kill.
Goodness, the damage coming out there. I believe that was 1-2 punch damage, and then Forgot just on the Asher purely through knockback, pushing away Leon there, getting the KO.
Yeah.
And now we're in a power play situation there. Leon just manages to come back, but it's an open net with both barriers up for Spiraling Misfortune.
Box with flip here could be huge. Freak answering back.
Trade of energy burst there. One barrier being found. Leon trying to find the second one as he gets it up to Elo Heaven. But a good positioning from Cardbox, tries to stop the pass. Does end up finding the angle eventually here, and it is, Leon goes for the shot, doesn't find what he was looking for, and now they're just trying to pass it back and forth and try their best to find something.
My goodness. Such great team play, I must say. Really keeping it in possession, waiting, biding their time for their cooldowns, and they found the goal.
And sometimes when the core is moving that fast, thanks to the addition of 1-2 punch being procced on the core, you don't even need an ability to send it in. It's just really hard to find, to react to this core moving that fast, especially in overtime.
Oh yeah, forget about it. I've been caught off guard one too many times.
So taking a look at what we have here, it is going to be Elo Heaven picking up the quick strike. Stinger going over to the Imi here on Cardbox. A great pickup there on on Azure, going for the peak performance. If this was forward Juliet, you could have made the argument for Big Fish as well. I think both are fine. Azure is just a generally big character already. Having the extra stagger and the speed is phenomenal. So I like the pickup there. And then overall, it is Streak who got the Big Fish, getting some extra size there, and then Leo Leon who picked up Rampage. So let's see if he manages to stack it up. Remember, KOing him will reset all those stacks, though, so you have to be careful and make sure he doesn't get knocked out.
Yeah, definitely a valuable resource. Can definitely get out of control very quickly if not checked.
Yes. One of those things, Rampage was also buffed in this most recent balance patch here, bringing its base value from 5% back up to 7.5. And all these small things might not seem like the biggest deal, but they do add up.
Yeah, I mean, after your 6th stack, it's you get a little large.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I believe it's after the 3rd stack, it's already better than all the other. It's like equal to all the other Staggered Awakenings on its 2nd stack, and then just better than them on the 3rd.
Definitely an investment awakening, but usually pays out with the way this game plays. Great dash punching, great save.
Unable to put him into hit stun long enough to secure that point. Forgot finding the great defense that he needed, but the Crystal Thorns are finding so much value in this set overall, or in this series, I should say.
A bit of an unfortunate miscommunication, I believe, in the net from Box and Forgot. Forgot wanted down, and Box wanted up.
So setting it back up there, Forgot wasn't ready for it, and then the Crystal Thorns finding the open spot. But Leo Leon getting 2 Rampage stacks, both barriers there, and the goal with the assistance of Elo Heaven. And it is just a 6-second point here on the Taiko Temple.
Very rare, honestly, but when you hit the middle, things get very bad, very bad. And a lot of these barriers that haven't taken these double barriers haven't even been from abilities.
Yeah, they've just been from a nice place strike here. And we can already take a look. Leo Leon has gotten, I believe, 3 stacks total over these 2 points here. Looking to get even more. Has energy burst available as thanks to that catalyst.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Shove it in the middle there.
Finds both barriers with the help of Elo Heaven's energy burst here, and now it is Forgot with no stagger left and no elusive, trying to find the KO onto him. Thanks to that peak performance, manages to stay alive just a little bit longer, and a good defense keeps it up. But trying his best, Leo Leon doesn't find the core or the KO. But the pressure is on. It is Spiraling Misfortune that look like they're going to be the first to fall in terms of stagger here.
Yeah, a lot of damage being stacked in that corner, and in these scuffling situations, there's oh my goodness, speaking of damage, it's coming.
Oh, a good elusive there from Forgot, manages to dodge the dash punch from Leo Leon, trying his best to KO him, but not the best at finishing KOs like that when someone's not trying to, catch him off guard on the side of the map.
Oh, and Wollam out with an attempt on goal here, and he makes great use of it.
Bringing them back once again for the 3rd time, or for the 3rd set in a row, a 2-0 start from Core Retroflow, followed by a point going over to Spiraling Misfortune. So let's see if they can find the second one to bring it over to a 0.5. But Leo Leon hasn't been KO'd yet, and that size adding up more and more. We can see how big he is, towering over the IME there as Cardbox, and looking like the same size as Forgot, if not bigger. But you can see the hitboxes scale so hard with the additional size here, and especially with Mako, who can hold down her secondary to help give her team both size and speed.
No shortage of size, and on this map, there's not a lot of places you can take it other than straight forward.
Exactly. One barrier, though, being traded back here. Cardbox using the energy burst, manages to find the second barrier with Lalamao helping him out. Goes for the cyber swipe. Good attempt there, isn't able to find it. Leo Leon has the speed, trying to do his best here to break the second barrier. Doesn't have abilities up. Tries his best with the punch, but isn't able to find it between the punch and, oh my, bringing it over to a set 5. Right, Leo Leon just didn't have the full kit available to him, and Forgot able to take full advantage of that. Clear it back out to Lalamao with a great dead touch, pulling it over to him and then scoring on streak.
Yeah, and I'm sure Lalamao like a decent spot in this draft right now. Unfortunately, the Awakenings are just simply not good enough for him. He's been struggling. He'd like to be the size of Juliet right about now, I'm sure.
I'm sure he'd absolutely love that. Elo Heaven finding the first barrier there with a good Rose Warp. Leo Leon trying to find his best to kind of juke out Forgot, maybe bait on ability.
Or from the corner. So much damage.
So much damage onto both Leo Leon and Cardbox taking a brunt of that trade there. But Cardbox still being pressured from Elo Heaven. Leo Leon trying his best to at least apply a little bit more pressure, but Forgot dumping. That's 2 abilities out of Forgot there. So just something to keep in mind. But with that rapid fire, it'll probably be back up. But that is a huge KO onto Leo Leon. That is, I believe, like almost like 5 or 6 stacks of Rampage gone.
Definitely a relief for them at this point.
Yeah, still have 5 seconds until he's back up. Lalamao pops the energy burst, gets the barrier, gets the point. We're going to what could be a match point here or match set for Spiraling Misfortune, potentially tying this up 1-1 in the series.
Yeah, this is going to be a big draft. Maybe all reverb is up. I think that could be an interesting pickup for Asher here. Twin Drive also on the table.
Taking a look here, it could be the reverb, could be the team player as well. Honestly, a lot to take here, but no, it does go in for that reverb. Helps with the cooldowns. Already has peak performance, so it's gonna kind of synergize together anyways. Heavy impact going over to Juliet, which is a lot of damage. 1-2 punch heavy impact is nothing to scoff at there. Twin Drive going over to Rasmus. Aerial's being picked up by Estelle, which is you absolutely love to pick up. One of her best awakenings there.
And the Firewall Sentry just got a lot better too. That Deadeye pickup from Cardbox is going to be a big deal in that corner.
The Deadeye, and then going to be paired with, remember, 5 stacks of Ponder already with the Stinger, with Deadeye, right? That's going to be a lot of damage coming out from Cardbox, assuming he can play the orbs right.
And wow, what a great primary combo from the forward duo.
Good combo. Manages to break the barrier after that too. Forgot getting a little bit lucky on the bounce there. Doesn't end up losing the barrier here. Pendulum Swing comes out, isn't able to find it, picks up the orb just to heal up a little bit. Lalamau looking for another attempt there. Ooh, a little bit of a bad interaction there. Remember, Energy Burst hits the core with any strike or ability used, and that was the Firewall Sentry that proc the Energy Burst there.
Sometimes a blessing, sometimes not so much.
I've been there plenty of times here. Lalamau trying his best here not to get KO'd and apply some pressure, but has to play a little bit back. So I like that Cardbox is walking up to put on the offensive pressure instead here. Finally heals up enough stagger so that isn't in that staggered state anymore.
Moving up. Be in that wall.
Yeah, I like that. Recognizing they have Energy Burst, so tries to rotate around with Cardbox to just see if they can get a play. Isn't able to find it here. I like the Glitch Pop play. Use the Glitch Pop to help dribble and secure a pass over to Lalamau. But it's a lot of defense coming out from Core Retroflow. They just aren't giving up at all. I like the setup from Elo Heaven there. Uses the Energy Burst, lines it up with a piercing shot, and then the Crystal Thorn comes in. Rebound off the bottom, goes into Leon. The fists are coming out. Ultimate locks it in place there. Plus the Energy Burst is going to get point number 1.
Just for good measure, right?
Hey, we've seen it before where sometimes you greet a little bit too hard with the Energy Burst. Better to use it and not better to use it and miss than to not use it at all.
Yeah, certainly a resource that is being wasted every time you don't use it and strike the core.
So we're on a 1-0 lead once again, starting off exactly the same as every single round prior. Let's see if Core Retroflow managed to get the second point as well, repeating history. Yeah. But a good catch from Streak manages to stop the double barrier from being taken from Cardbox's flip. And now we get one barrier being dropped. Good Firewall Sentry helps that secure. Leon looking really low. Energy Burst comes out from Lalamau, trading a bit of damage back. Streak is looking low. Leon looking low as well. Everyone on the
fantastic kill combo.
Oh my, it's everyone on the team of Retroflow is down pretty much. Streak unable to reach that core, just barely try to use the secondary to reach it, but remember holding the secondary there, banging the drums, slows your character down. So didn't reach it with the secondary and then was slowed from the secondary at the same time. So wasn't able to secure that defense there. Tied 1-1, finally breaking the history of every single set prior to this. So let's see if this is what Core Retroflow needs to change things up. But as I say that, both barriers dropped. Energy Burst coming out from Leon. Cardbox putting on a lot of damage onto the Juliet. And now we're just seeing damage come out everywhere.
Barriers.
Double barrier from Leon. Finds the double KO. Heavy impact, 1-2 punch. And now it's going to be a passing play back and forth until they find the shot needed to secure the point.
It was looking really good in the beginning there for the other team, but Leon found his opportunity and he took it. Something he's so fantastic at on that Juliet.
Yeah, the damage from the 1-2 punch heavy impact just makes Juliet so powerful, allowing you to KO from nearly the midfield point of the map there. And a great combo from both Elo, Heaven, Leon, finding both barriers nice and early.
Almost got 2 himself.
Almost got 2. Lalamau trying to trade it back, gets 1 at least, and Leon bringing this over to a set 5. And now things are looking a lot more dangerous because if Spiraling Misfortune don't win this set, they are being sent over to the losers bracket.
Yeah, so much more pressure on them right now. Retroflow feeling pretty good after that set, I bet. And they've got 1 game to fall back on.
Definitely. Taking a look at what we have here, it is Juliet being first picked. Looking at all the options here, there's plenty to take. I think it's either going to be Adren Rush, perfect. Oh, it goes for the stacks. Very surprised I was thinking that he was going to go lean more into the damage side of things and either go for a Adren Rush bulk up, but no, opting in for the speed, doesn't want to let Lalamau have it. Instead, is going to be Unstoppable, picked up on the Estelle. I think that is more of a deny than anything else. Asher with the Unstoppable would have been really hard to deal with because it would have stopped the hit stun from Juliet or the piercing shot on those barrier attempts. Looking at everything else, it is rapid fire 1-2 or rapid fire prime time combo on Forgot. Perfect form going over to Streak instead. And overall, everyone got something that they wanted here, but nothing too game-breaking being picked up on anyone in particular.
Yeah, I will say, rapid fire prime time is something that's feared on most goalies. That combination is so oppressive. Even now, as Forgot doesn't have to do anything here, building up resources.
Exactly. You can expect him to almost always have one primary ability up at all times. Leon finds the kill on the card box there, but 5 more seconds until they return. A good defense from Forgot is holding this on for such a long time, and it's just infinite amount of primaries that Asher is going to have. It's going to make this defense so much harder there, but even with the primary, Leon manages to find the spot to break the barrier, coming through, going for the attempt on the net here. Elo haven't used the piercing shot, isn't able to get a good defense, sent it back, but they have to break that barrier if they want a shot on net.
Absolutely, and that's where Rasmus is going to shine, but unfortunately you got to get there. Elo Heaven with core flip approaching dangerously. Oh, and look, there it is.
Oh, but a beautiful core flip coming out from Elo Heaven, finds the angle between both Forgot and Cardbox, giving them the advantage in this set. Both teams have at least one energy burst, but Lalamau close to the second one here. Energy economy going in the favor of Spiraling Misfortune. One barrier being taken out here. A good ultimate from Asher keeps the core forward here, and a great death touch from Lalamau. Gets that second one, using the energy burst a little bit preemptively, isn't able to catch the core. Leon also trading flips there. Looking dangerous there. If he gets taken out, that is Rampage gone. A Cardbox looking for the shot on Glitch Pop there. Isn't able to make contact with Leon, who's kind of just hovering around here. A great spacing keeps him away from Lalamau. Only needs one orb or just a few more seconds to live.
Yeah, and it looks like he's gonna get those seconds.
He's playing great here. Leon is not going anywhere for this interaction here, but a great play from Lalamau gets him the core, and then a secondary whiplash securing that point.
Yeah, that open net with Rasmus looking very good out there.
One of the things that Rasmus does well is scoring from a distance. Doesn't really need to put himself in a position where he's right up in front of you, thanks to the distance of the pendulum swing and the speed he has from that secondary.
The damage in that corner as well. And Lalamau, honestly, pretty much scot-free getting out.
Got free, was able to pick up the orb on his way out here. Energy burst being popped for Forgot. Is able to clear it out, and Streak doing the same on their side. Manages to get the defense, but it's a lot of pressure there on the net. It's taking all three members of Core Retroflow to clear the core out there. I like how Forgot is using all these offensive ultimates on the Asher, trying his best to make an offensive play into the corner with that stuffing power. The snaring drums reaching the other side of the map there with Streak as we go for a scoring attempt on Leon. Or I should say a barrier attempt. One barrier being dropped thanks to the pass from Leo onto Elo Heaven. Core flip coming out. A good dash secures the second barrier. Goal gates are open. Streak has to defend a little bit longer here. Sends it right back up to Leo. And now we're at another position where Elo Heaven has Lalamau has a chance to break that barrier. Does. And it's open nets on both sides, but Cardbox is looking really low.
We're banging that drum.
Oh, we're banging that drum. People are gaining size, moving faster. Lalamau grabs it with the death touch. Goes for an attempt. It's snaring jumps.
What an attempt it is.
Flip from Lalamau gets him the core in front of the net, scores it right onto Streak, who is just a strike away from getting his own energy burst.
And this is match point for Spiraling Misfortune. And oh boy, do they want it. You can tell.
If they get this, they go over to a Game 3. It's going to be tough because Game 3 is going to be, if you're Core Retroflow, you have the win within your grasp here. You want to move on to winter finals. You don't want to end up playing a whole nother game here, but the momentum right now that Spiraling Misfortune must be feeling here is phenomenal.
And look at that momentum coming into play already. One down and Streak not looking much more healthy.
Streak not looking healthy at all there. A bad bounce off the middle. Doesn't really get him what he wants. Cardbox missing a crucial glitch pop, though. That would have 100% KO'd Streak, who now has just a sliver of HP to live. But as I say that, a cyber swipe comes in. Leon playing Juliet goalie, trying his heart out to keep the core forward. It does manage to get it, and Elo Heaven going forward there, just trying his best with the Rose Warp to keep the ball up as long as possible to allow Streak to come back, who is in a position.
Oh my goodness, not how I saw that one going in my head.
doesn't manage to gets one barrier for his trouble, but Leo Leon taken out, and now it is Elo Heaven who's looking really low here. Power play coming out from Lalamau and Cardbox, trying their best to make Cypress. Oh my
that's
goodness!
Gonna be streaked down. Power play again. Still a 2v3.
Extending the power play to another 10 seconds here, but it is a Juliet in the net, trying their best. A forward player. Let's see if they have what it takes here. A cyber swipe doesn't connect with the core, but we are back into a neutral position somewhat as they scramble for the last point there. Spiraling Misfortune gets it to the tiniest crevice on that top part of the net. We are now going to a Game 3 night market.
Truly incredible. Honestly, I was looking not great when Juliet got Rampage. I started to have my doubts. It's so hard to get it through that character, and Leo on that Julie is very strong, but it just simply wasn't enough. That
Definitely.
team composition doing so much damage for something that you wouldn't expect. Asher,
100%.
not really known for the damage. Perhaps maybe she'll tap you in the corner.
42,000 damage on the Rasmus. 20k coming out from Forgot, which is still a decent amount there. But we can take a look at all the damage in the KOs coming out. Leo Leon had 10 KOs himself, but towards the end, Cardbox was getting all these crucial KOs thanks to the, I believe it was Stinger, plus Deadeye, plus 1-2 Punch. It was just so much damage coming out from the IME that it was just KO after KO, putting them into a permanent power play position.
Yeah, and wow, what a great shot that was. But it's also worth mentioning that even though Box is so focused on getting these KOs and stacking this damage, still doing a great job at controlling the core. Those redirects were not lacking.
Yep.
Only slightly behind Elo Heaven.
100% there. So now as the players prep for the draft of Game 3, we know we're going to a night market. It's going to be spiraling. It's going to be spiraling Misfortune that will have the blue side. So curious what they're going to pick up here. There's nothing in particular that I would say like night market is, a certain type of character is going to be picked up there. It's most likely just going to be whatever their comfort picks are, I would say, and more based on the starting awakenings.
Yeah, definitely a map that's a little bit more freeform, I feel, simply because it is basic.
Yep, one of the big three, just a more balanced matched or map overall there. So we'll find out shortly what the starting awakenings are, and then we can kind of get our predictions for what the character select is going to be.
Absolutely. That middle speed going to come into play. People are going to be farming that.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things is to grab a buddy, from the enemy team. Like, hey, how's it going?
I love that. Just both of you, no abilities needed. You're kind of just standing there, holding hands in the speed gate, understanding what the mission is. Especially as a midfielder, where you try to just keep the core up, and then it's like push the core once, go back to the speed gate. Push the core up again, back to the speed gate.
Yeah, it's like orb dancer all the time.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Yeah, and then I in cold blood push together midfielder off of the speed barrier.
Oh, all the time. You know what I do when I'm playing Rune on this map? I just like to plop the pillar onto the middle, and then I just slowly make my way over to the speed gate as I see that went over to Core Retroflow. Game 2, Taiko Temple, brought back by Spiraling Misfortune. And now we are going to a Game 3 here on winner semis. Once again, to reiterate what is happening here, if they win this, the winner is going to be versing placeholder Palafins here in the finals, where the loser, I'm not sure exactly where they're going to end up being placed in terms of bracket-wise, but they will have to play in, I believe it's like loser semis after this.
Yes. I would imagine that there's probably going to be a team playing EKC, which are waiting in losers right now. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the team. There was no ban from one of the sides here. Ooh,
no ban.
Misfortune, no ban.
I'm not sure if that is a mistake or visual bug or anything like that, but either way, we have Erasmus banned from Retro. First pick going over to Octavia.
Very interesting. And Finny as well. Not a pick I saw coming at all. Especially on a stagger start. That's very interesting.
Finny probably will end up taking the team player here. It's a really strong awakening here. But I'm not sure. Finny's been getting a little bit more popularity, has been getting buffed a little bit over the last few patches, and now, at least in this patch, has been seeing... Oh, okay. Okay. So just taking a look, the awakenings from the previous draft were correct. It was team player reverberation. These awakenings are not correct, but this is the
draft.
This is the draft.
Yeah, minus the awakening.
Okay.
And this makes a lot more sense to me.
So taking a look, we have Rasmus band, Kazan band. Kazan with team player is a menace in the gold box.
Oh yeah, definitely off the table for sure.
Taking a look at the first pick here, we got Zentaro going over to Spiraling Misfortune, followed by the pickup of Drakkar and Now. Now I expect this to be Now right back onto Streak on the goalie position, and then Elo Heaven on the Drakkar.
Very interesting pick. I know that Jakar has been favored a little bit more in the brawler role recently. My own teammate been practicing quite a bit. I know Scyther 12 as well, but definitely still a solid option on Night Market. I think that was his best map way back. I think it still is one of his better maps for midfield.
He gets to benefit a lot from the speed gate there. We were having a little bit of a discussion beforehand, but that speed gate in the middle really gives you a lot of control over the map. With your car, you can use it to reposition really quickly, and then because of the range of your lock and load, just the distance of the pellets, it usually allows you to function in a way similar to the Crystal Thorns of Estelle.
Yeah.
Right? So it is powerful. He has been a little bit on the weaker side, but did get buffed more recently on this last patch, making his Xeno Cloak last, I believe, a quarter of a second longer, which doesn't sound amazing, but when it lasts 1 second and going to 1 1/4, that is like a pretty significant increase.
Yeah, and it looks like we had it a little bit backwards here. It's going to be Forgot on Drakkar. And now
okay. I guess I saw the teams incorrectly, but as I go into this, first point, 15 seconds in, Core Retroflow just scoring immediately. Leo Leon on the Zentaro there. Elo Heaven picking up that Estelle that he piloted so well both of these last 2 games. And then Streak. We have not seen him on IME this series, but do not be fooled. Streak is one of the best IME goalies in the entire community here. Almost renowned to the level where it was him and You Already Lose to be considered the best IME goalies in the entire game.
Yeah, definitely pioneering that position, and now everybody's following suit. Definitely a little bit more of a conventional team composition from Core Retroflow as well. I would not have expected this team comp from Spiraling Misfortune, even if you told me it was a little strange.
Yeah, this is something that we see the Rasmus band and then the Kazan band as well. So that's 2 picks that I know Lalamal can play just fine. So now being put onto the X, which not really an issue, but just something that we don't see him as often. Doing just fine there, trying to get managing to get the second barrier there, missing the rush to get the goal. But overall, Cardbox known to have a really good now, and then Forgot on this Drakkar goalie. I think the Drakkar goalie is something that we see sometimes on more specific. I don't want to say like typically this is a character that only a few people really like to play.
Yeah.
So seeing it here is more interesting. It does have its benefits, but there it is. Manages to get the core over to Lalamal, who uses Energy Burst, puts it in, tying things up 1-1 now.
Yeah, I will say Drakkar is also used as a substitute for Kai goalie players, I'd like to say. Definitely not Forgot. Forgot, I don't think, very known for the Kai pickup, but Drakkar is also very good at stuffing these tight little corners. I imagine if you can get missile prop or aerials even, you can definitely stuff a sizable portion of the field.
And it's really annoying to be the brawler against Drakkar, because if you try to go for a dribble, the lock and load from Drek just puts it, just breaks the dribble altogether. You have to approach how you go on offense way differently. And I love how Forgot walks up there to make sure he walks up to the midfield line to put on that pressure, make sure that both of his teammates don't need to walk back.
Absolutely.
And then the combination of both Lalamal and Cardbox up there in the net, managing to gain the advantage in this set. 2-1 lead now as we go in. We got to watch out for how the speed gate is being controlled here. Leo Leon picking up this next one. One barrier being dropped on both sides as Forgot tries to get the core back over to Cardbox.
That was some fantastic offense from Streak, enabling Leo to just sit right on that barrier and bide his time.
Oh my god, what an amazing Rose Warp. The pass into the Rose Warp. And remember, Rose Warp hits the closest target at the time of the warp. So that is something that is really precise because both Cardbox and Lalamal were pretty much right there. So he Rose Warp at the exact time he could to where it would rebound the core. Tying things up.
You haven't been away for on and off the entire game, but still very good no matter what. Proving that precision and that skill.
Absolutely. Now we're going back 2-2, a little bit faster in terms of the set. We got 2-2 pretty quickly here. The points aren't taking long at all. We're not seeing much of overtime. Streak using the energy burst, sends it around the world, gets the barrier for himself, puts out the firewall sentry, cyber swipe in, tries to do a little bit more on the offense, isn't able to get it, but a flip from Elo Heaven helps to secure the defense there. Lalamal popping the X Maximus, doesn't find the core, is waiting for a pass from Cardbox so he can use the energy burst. Oh, but a good Xeno Cloak from Forgot gets it in, but the glitch pop.
The offense so brutal from Streak here, enabling every play.
It was a great offense there. So we're again seeing the trade-offs of being a more aggressive goalie, of having the ranged goalie, someone who can use the eject button, cyber swipe in half the distance of the map, participate. It is a long time. People don't realize the timer on eject button is a solid like 4.5 seconds or something along that line there, where you can just be an extra forward, whether a midfielder or a brawler, just for those 4 seconds, participate in the play, use all your abilities, and then go right back to your net.
Yeah, sit patiently and wait. And there's going to be some more cooldowns to throw around from Aimee.
Oh, this is an infamous pickup here. Aimee goalie with the Happy Star extra special there is going to be dropping on kickoff, essentially, a firewall sentry every single time. It's just one of those things where it is so oppressive to deal with. We also, like I said, we don't have Timeless in, which is one of these insane combinations that you can get on Aimee. But even if you get something like Siege Machine, it ends up putting on a lot of pressure there.
Yeah, and Cardbox with a great dribble on the middle of Night Market here. Going to enable some good offense. Great strike reset from Lolamau.
Yep, utilize the strike reset, I guess, property of popping that X Maximus ult to get a quicker strike cooldown there. Gets one barrier, isn't able to get the second one yet, trying his best to push through the firewall sentry, but the turret bullets doing better than he expected there. Cardbox taking a little bit of damage, but everything looking pretty normal right now as Leon tries to go. Oh my goodness, as I say that, the damage coming through. Now deleted barrier, dropped the streak jumping in for the rebound, and Leon redirecting that final, I guess, that final touch of the core.
Yeah, so unfortunate from Box. You know, when you see now on low HP, you're honestly not always concerned, as the mine and her special allowing her to heal up very quickly, or her teammates for that matter.
Yep.
But unfortunately not being given the opportunity. That was a very quick death.
Yeah, and we're seeing some of the nerfs come into play here. The lower stagger, as well as the cooldown nerf on the secondary mines, right? If you can't use it as fast, you're not going to have them up as much to heal yourself.
Look at this. There's some good offense coming out here. Lolamau just not finding the right opportunity to burn that core flip.
Yeah, and now we're seeing Core Retroflow breaking barriers so quick. Elo Heaven from the middle of, I guess, like middle of the goal line there, finding the angle onto the bottom. That is Lolamau, who still has Energy Burst. Cardbox a strike away. Forgot has it up. That's 3 Energy Bursts essentially they have there, but we'll have to use it now or never. Otherwise, you know, you might not get a chance until the next set.
Yeah, unfortunately. And this is kind of proving how X plays the game a little bit, too. A very feast or famine character, I feel like. If he doesn't have the core, he doesn't have a lot of way to procure it himself. It's completely up to Box and Forgot to try and get it to Lolamau.
Doesn't have the mobility as some of these other characters like Zentaro, right? The dash on both his passive, the secondary, and the distance he can cover when pressing that ultimate ability. Zentaro just has so much to help cover the map here, but Lolamau has to trust that his teammates can get him the core so that he can make a play. But when he has that core, he has so much stuffing pressure when the X Maximus pop, when the Bull Rush is available.
Oh, yeah.
It's just one of those things where you have these trade-offs all the time on what you're picking and how you're performing here. Elo Heaven using the Piercing Shot for Crystal Thorns combo isn't able to find this last barrier. Trying to get it through, but Forgot with the lock and load pushes it back over to Lolamau. But we're in kind of this like dead zone where Lolamau is kind of has to. You can see where he's standing. He's standing so far back that even if he gets the core here, it doesn't really do anything because he's not the midfielder. He wants to be at the net.
Oh my! Do that.
The Bull Rush plus X Maximus primary, or I should say strike combo, securing that KO. And I believe that is a Dren Rush that popped there, giving the extra movement speed. Cooldowns popped as well, or cooldowns refreshed by 8 seconds. Allowing him to get this point.
Yeah, something Knife Market is known for. You know, characters like Juliet and X, they have great dash punch combos. Even Asher, for example. Definitely a scary map. It's going to find itself that core against that wall very, very often. And Lolamau taking his chance, trying to get a KO there, and it worked out.
Yeah,
he did it again.
Does it again. Uses the punch from the X Maximus there to get some distance, and then finishes it off with a combo of the Energy Burst. Using it for damage or a KO rather than worrying about trying to score that barrier. He's saying that, hey, I'll score this as long as one of you guys is off the map. Manages to get one barrier here. Leon looking low as well. Uses the ultimate, which does have a little bit of a lifesteal property there, and with the help of the orb, gets back up to a healthy state. We do have a little bit of a visual bug. He is
He's not staggered.
He's not
even
staggered.
Though he appears to be.
Yes. He is not staggered, so sometimes deceiving there, even for the players, it's not just a spectator bug. So for them, you know, they have to pay attention that Leon is actually just healthy at the moment.
Yeah.
But besides that, still doing a great job of keeping the core up. Lolamau finally finding his footing to an extent here, putting on more pressure as Leon tries to find one barrier, but a great clear from Forgot. no barriers being taken so far as the offense from Core Retroflow doing their best. Finds one with the insane core speed there.
Yeah, it's getting really fast, and it's not going to get any slower here.
Yeah.
Attempt.
I believe it's because of the team player. One of the other visual bugs currently present is that as spectator, you actually can't see the blue trail effect from team player unless you're on the team itself.
Thankfully, you can tell by the speed alone, because
yeah.
that is unnatural.
Yeah, if you ever see the core go super fast, it is because of the team player, and for those of you who aren't sure what that does, it's an awakening that when you send it to your teammates or within a certain distance of your teammates, the core will go much, much faster. And there it is. We saw the team player pass from Streak, passing it along to Leo Leon, or from Streak to Elo Heaven to Leo Leon, with a great series of passes there, manages to get that that final point of set number 2. And this is looking like a completely different game here, way more dominant for Core Retroflow.
Absolutely. And this Awakening draft, I think, is going to make things a little bit more brutal. Deadeye Imi, I imagine?
Deadeye, there's plenty of stuff to take here. It could be the prime time as well. There's not really anyone who wants to use it on the other team of Spiraling Misfortune. So it's just going to depend on what end up wanting to take. Takes the aerials instead, denying Drakkar from having that extended range and extra speed while in the Xeno Cloak. Opting for that route instead. Also, not a bad awakening on Imi at all. It gives you extra range on both your projectiles, which is the primary glitch pop and the firewall sentry, while also increasing the range of your cyber swipe. So enhancing all 3 of your abilities.
Yeah, kind of the do-it-all awakening for this character, 100%. And I gotta admit, Core Retroflow definitely taking the core control angle. Wasn't too worried about damage or anything of the sort there. As a result, Spiraling Misfortune is going to get some decent resources to get some KOs, maybe a little bit more often with that Stinger.
Yeah, and we can already see how much damage is coming through onto Elo Heaven there, and a good pass from... I like where Lalamel tried to send the core up to the top there, and then eventually being set back by Cardbox on the rebound, giving them the first point advantage in set number 3 here. And like you said, some of the damage being added on to Spiraling Misfortune's team is going to be adding up. We can already see Streak being put down to less than half HP from just a simple combo there. Has to pop the Firewall Sentry just to allow some defensive help. But no, doesn't manage to save the barrier. Streak is looking really low here as Lalamel tries his best to pressure Streak. He misses the abilities, finds the primary there.
Definitely not going to be long for Streak before he has to burn that core flip, I think.
Yeah. As long as Lalamel gets the energy burst out, he'll be happy. Doesn't need to push further than this to get any more value. I think just getting the energy burst there is fine. But Streak not stopping the aggression at all. Cyber swipes in, puts the firewall sentry down, manages to get the last barrier here. Lalamel pops the X back from his, doesn't get the chance to reach the core to really send it in there. And a good rebound off the energy burst, sends it back up for an attempt. Isn't enough. A good combo from Elo Heaven with the Crystal Thorns and Piercing Shot, gets the KO onto
the goal.
And they are just putting so much pressure on, standing right on top of the core there as Forgot has nowhere to send it. Leo Leon using the multiple hits of the Zentaro primary there to finish off that point.
And Leo's about to get a lot faster, 8 stacks away from reaching maximum stacks on stacks on stacks, and it's going to double your speed once it hits max stack.
There he is. You can already see, you can tell by the effect around his character that he is indeed at maximum stacks here, and you can already see how much faster he's moving. One of the things that Zentaro, a lot of the times brawlers will look at these damage awakenings and be like, hey, we need some more damage here, but speed is one of the best things you can have on any character, and you can see how important it is repositioning yourself there. And finds the strike, uses the secondary, positions himself onto the top, primary to catch the rebound to prevent the lock and load from shooting it out there. And now we are on 2-0 set point. If they win right here, that's it. It is Spiraling Misfortune going over to the losers bracket, and then Core Retroflow moving on to winners finals if they take this point.
Yeah, and you can tell they want it, but Lalamel going to burn that flip a little bit, not going to get a lot of value out of it. Another flip from the box, and look at Leo just stopping it right in its tracks.
Doing a great job. A little bit low on the staggers there. Managed to pick up the orb to heal back up to a healthy amount here. As Lalamel has to go back, pass it over to Cardbox. They just aren't finding the positions where they want to be when they receive the core. A lot of times, Lalamel is receiving the core back in the midfield line, which isn't really beneficial to him. Whereas Zentaro can close in with the core just fine. But we are looking at the damage finally coming through from Spiraling Misfortune. Both Elo Heaven and Leo Leon really low, but doesn't matter if they're low, if they're still alive.
going to be it.
Crisscrossing the beams, there's the rush going to the top. Elo heaven piercing shot towards the bottom. Within just a 10-second frame, both barriers dropped to the point scored. That is going to be Core Retroflow going to winners finals, where they will face off against placeholder Palafins. And now it is Spiraling Misfortune, who are not out yet. 10th seed, but they're going to try their best to keep up on the losers run as they have to face some teams like SEKC. And I'm not sure who else. Well, they have to wait for the losers of winners finals, but I'm not sure who is waiting on the other side of the bracket as well.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. We're going to get that information in just a second, but I just want to say Spiraling Misfortune, even though that wasn't W for them, they are definitely, I'd say, the dark horse team here. They've made it way deeper than I would have expected, and they're proving why they're here. They did very well.
This is top 8, and their seed is 10, right? They're already playing past their seed, doing a great job.
And, I mean, very interesting to see the Drakkar goalie, too. I'm glad it got some representation.
So they will be playing Oshi in losers semis, I believe, right? Losers quarters. Okay.
Yeah, definitely Oshi, another team that I expected to be perhaps on the winner side for a little while longer, but definitely making a crazy losers run to make it up until this point.
Definitely. So they're going to be playing in losers quarter. The winner of those two matches of SEKC and I forgot who did placeholder Palafins just beat to get into winners finals.
It was, forgive me, I believe it was the Bozo equivalent. What is their?
Oh yes, Gret
Esports.
Gret Esports. There we go.
That would be.
They'll be playing SEKC versus Gret Esports. We'll be playing in losers quarters. Winner of that will verse the winner of Oshi and now Spiraling Misfortune.
And it looks like we're going to be going on break after this.
Yep. So thank you, everyone. We'll be back soon with winners final.